So we're dealing with inheritance and afterlife, what this is like. Now, this is not an all-inclusive video, guys, so please be patient with me. But let's deal with a word that we have come to know and love concerning the afterlife. They are everlasting, they are eternal. Both of these words are used simultaneously in Scripture, and they have the same original root word. Now, you'll be interested and surprised maybe to know that the word everlasting does not mean future per se. This is right from the definition. But literally means possessing the God kind of life for here and now. The everlasting and eternal simply means life that endures and does not change. Well, let me say it in a way you might understand it. I am the life and I change not. I am the Lord and I change not. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. Relax, guys. I'm in drive-thru right now. A very long drive-thru. He's doing his life driving. No, I'm in drive-thru. All right. So check us out. So this is more about a life that endures and does not change. So eternal and everlasting don't mean, the primary definition has nothing to do with the future or after you come out of your body. It has everything to do with the life of God that endures in the here and now and never changes. Now watch this now. And when you do pass out of this life into the next life, then the life of God will continue and never stops. Or it looks like this. 1 Corinthians says like this: prophecies will fade away. All of these other things will stop. But the greatest of these, and that will endure, is love. Love. Think about that. Wait a minute. 1 John 4:8. God is love. OMG. Wow. God is love. So we're talking about the love. God, who is God, is going to endure. And love, who is God, is going to be there after the fact. Wow. That's pretty amazing. So again, eternal and everlasting have nothing or little to do with what happens to you after you come out of your body, but everything to do about possessing the life of God now. Now, what's in the life of God? This is easy. Look at Jesus. Everything about God has to bend that we find in Scripture, as said by Brad Jersak, by the way. I've got to give him credit. The man is awesome. But must bend its knee to the God who came in the flesh. See, they didn't understand how to interpret Scripture properly until Jesus. Jesus was correcting Scripture all the time with them. All the time. The Pharisees, the religious, the know-hows, them. So what you have to really understand is this, is that everlasting and eternal is about the enduring life of God that never changes. So let's look at the nature of God. The love of God. Love is always patient. It's always kind. It's never this. It's never that. You can take all of those and place everlasting. Love is always going to be this. Love is always going to be that. This is what everlasting life looks like. Everlasting looks like Jesus that never changes and is always the same. You catch that? So, everlasting and eternal. Now, there is another word too, and it's called eon, and it has a different word meaning, which means of the ages, or the time period that we're in now, the current age. Okay, so it can also mean that, depending on the context that it's being used in. Okay, but even in that context, it's still talking about a period of time and not something that, like we've come to think of it and know it as, the forever and ever that happens after you come out of your body. Let me give it to you the best way, that another way of understanding it. And for those of you who can't nerd out on this, I'm sorry, but this is one of the only ways that related to me. I got it when it was shown to me this way. It's how the Lord showed it to me. It's like Star Wars. And now some of y'all that are like, oh gosh, here we go. But if you don't know, see, I've got a Yoda shirt on, if that tells you anything. Yeah. Believe me, my wife got me this shirt, and my wife will call me a nerd, but she says I'm her nerd, so. All right, check it. All right, for real. So here we go. In Star Wars, you use something called the Force. The Force was stuff like, you'd hold your hand out, they'd move stuff around, or they'd say, these are the droids you're not looking for, or, something like that. And you could do all kinds of stuff with the Force. It was pretty cool. But the Force, the bottom line, the Force was used here and now. No Jedi was walking around talking about, when we get on the other side and when we die, we're going to really use the Force. No, they actually had a better understanding. Yoda even said it this way, that when Jedi die, or when everybody dies, they become a part of the Force. What? Maybe they had a greater handle on some of this than even the church has. That when people pass out of this life, Scripture says all spirits, they go back to God. Might have something to do with the great host of witnesses. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just throwing some thoughts out there. But the bottom line still is this. Everlasting and eternal have more to do with the enduring life of God for the here and now that's used for you in your inheritance for the here and now, and then will stay the same and not change even after you pass out of this life into the next. The enduring life and kindness and love of God will still remain. Have a great day, and remember, you are loved.